She warned me about my stomach, but she said it gets in the way of her viewpoint.
Yeah.
Can you push this over just a little?
2 points left.
I want to be near that one ball. Hank Hodges brought the ball.
What?
Hank Hodges brought the ball. He said it would be symbolic of the ball
Yeah.
dropping. So anyway, everyone, thank you for coming to our New Year's Eve party. I'm sure there are more coming. There's more people coming, I'm sure, but we're going to start our festivities with Ari Gross, aka Aaron Gross, reading a poem. When's the last time you read a poem?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, so be friendly to Ari, Aaron, and let's welcome our first performer of the evening, Aaron, aka Ari Gross. Yay!
Are you going to sit?
Well, turn on cell phones, everybody. Should we give them
I
a...
apologize in advance. I'm reading it off an electronic device. Maybe I will write tonight, pulled from the grasp of procrastination, stiff still from the unwillingness, yet vibrating with the incoming and hoarded thoughts that are genius enough intent, if not in content. The only way to appreciate and to come back is from the form of pain. I remember it like it was this very moment, my body curving in on itself. All parts really wanting to jump out of bed and make sure I stay alive, enough to get help if need be, so great is the fear. Yet I know at this time and this night that it's too late for anyone's hands but God's, as I beg him, even as never-ending inflammation draws me nearer to wishes of death. I slowly cook with the shiny suspending image, light refracting, liquid remembering the ocular pressure of the other time. Heating and cooling limbs that swell, torso shivered, and arrhythmia scary even if it's just atrial or supraventricular. Reliving bodily reminders, responses is that inflammation, death's advocate. Tiring of the pressure pains and the perennial cranial cracks that the head can mindlessly feel when it intrudes into unrelated thought. Territory as if it's something to live with, to just move on, as if it would be more energy sapping to act as if it is abnormal, but fear makes me realistic that it isn't, it shouldn't be. Absent teeth, hygiene, guilt, why of course Sherlock's, the wisdom pressure, or whatever fake material takes its place. Shows through in the lines and spans of pink red, don't name it. But what fear wants not to ignore gets in care of don't try to forget. In his own limited unworldly way, the mind's living space is as complex, variegated, and divested as that of the ones who drunk the tea in China. She knows Amy does that with a half-lie life, but she still opens up to me with her work-related computer subconscious as she drifts even as I sit near posed on the start of another half-serious but completely keen conversation. Seeing other sides is the double-edged sword, dipped and damned if you do or don't. So what's left for the cutting floor but a spite full of noses that know too much and still stayed innocent, left unproven that they would change if approached by some circumstantial evidence. Is justice truly blind, or am I just seeing too much to just let go and be on my own way? Narcissism versus self-reflection, looking back versus learning from the past, letting go versus denial, acquaintances, companionship, camaraderie by any other name is still a thought I can't stand on, let alone a real relationship where all is platonic. Blocks cold for to be freed up, and I'm just not feeling the flow. Have I become a stereotype because of my nature, or for the want of being like everyone else?
I'm I'm not sure I got every single word, but.
You got the mood.
Nina wants to.
I'm Russian, Andrew.
Nina wanted to. More slowly.
Humor is very familiar.
Reading on the
Slow down, slow down.
The mood.
So now be sure to play your song slowly enough, but you have the Elodie Loughton tape.
I can only do it as fast or as slow as Elodie determined.
So we're next going to have a wonderful
Yes.
musical event of Elodie Loughton's piece. And Elodie died about a year ago or 2 years ago?
Oh my goodness, it's going to be 3.5 years ago.
Oh, no. 3.5 years ago.
Yes.
Elodie Loughton, contemporary American composer. Andrew and Mary often play and sing her pieces. What's the name of this one?
Well, this is from an opera that she wrote called the 2-Cent Opera.
Oh, the 2-Cent Opera.
And it was all about deciding whether she should write another opera or not.
I know you're going to perform here or there.
I'm going to perform, wherever your finger points. You see my chair?
Oh, yes,
That's my
and
chair.
your chair. This
My
is Andrew's chair.
My chair, that's right.
So Andrew
Mary
Bolotowsky will play
but
flute.
Let me, as
And
I
Mary
say-
Hurlbut will sing.
That's right. Turn off the camera for a second.
Turn off the camera and
you're
tell
gonna
her when
help
you
me
turn
get
it
up
back on.
there.
And I-
Right.
Andrew, I'm sorry, just for a second. I really think it's going to be great in the...
Oh, wow.
Should be, it's a gingerbread.
Oh my God! Gingerbread cake and the ginger beer.
So I'll put it while the filming going on, so it will make it to the... So, and you know
Little
that...
opera hair. It's a different one.
Can we have Henry back? Can we have Sanity Claus back too? Might as well.
On the chimney.
Oh,
Be careful what you wish for.
That's right. Yes, I don't believe in no Santa Claus. You see, he got me. He understood what I was getting at. Okay, which is again from Night of the Opera, by the way. Yes, this is a movement from this opera, all about a lady, meaning Elodie herself, trying to decide whether she should write an opera or not. And she talks to her earlier self, she talks to her later self, she talks to God, she talks to Beethoven, everybody, and then she decides she's going to do it. Why? Just because she's going to do it. That's it. And this movement is called the 5-petal proportion. And it's all about the beauty that's found in the perfect proportion of a flower. That's what this is about. And I'm trying to remember, I was discussing this with Mary when we actually did it in the full opera production as to how we knew this was coming up. And the lighting man would give her a signal by putting his hand in front of the light. There would be this momentary flicker. And so at that point, she'd know, okay, we're on with this movement. That was part of it. This was a theater for the new city. Later on, Mary was in another Elodie Loughton opera called The Death of Don Juan, and I would go with my daughter. We saw about 5 performances of that. My poor little girl at that time, she was about 7 years old, and the two of us, we knew the whole opera backwards and forwards, and we knew when the smoke was going to start because the machine they had made this awful odor, kind of spoiled flesh is the only way to describe it. The whole theater would fill with this odor, and then the two of us, my daughter, we would start punching each other. Oh, it's coming on, it's coming on. It was one of the best times I ever had as a father. The upper rows of this theater with my daughter and the two of us punching each other. This was not father-daughter abuse, this was fun. Okay. Yeah, okay, or daughter-father abuse, exactly. Okay, here we go again with the 5-petal proportion. played 2 wrong notes.
Oh, no.
Yes, I did.
Do it again.
Did you turn them right away or just let them go?
I let him go.
Mary remembered all the lyrics
One-
perfectly.
One was in the chord, so it's okay. Yeah.
It was in the chord, but it was.
The other one I'll say was, we'll call it a passing tone, so we'll leave it alone. Yeah. Any, a passing tone, that's what I said.
Yeah, right. Ignore it.
Yeah, passing tone.
Ignore it.
Cabbage, we have a whole bunch of Chinese cabbage behind.
Oh, you have Katrina, oh, very good, yes. Yes, that's it. Years ago in my family, there was a woman who, she was the daughter of a friend of my father's from years ago. Her name was Nina Komyakov. And she came and she brought this head of green cabbage. And I said, what are you doing, Nina, with this? She says, oh, she said, it's an old Ukrainian tradition that at the stroke of midnight on New Year's, you must eat green cabbage and you'll make money. So everybody made fun of her, but what was happening on the stroke of midnight? Everybody was eating cabbage. Okay, so now, this is literally 40 years ago, and every New Year's since, I always make sure that I've got some green cabbage.
Cabbage?
We brought some, and the thing is, the trouble is, you're going to ask me, does it work? And I say, well, I don't know, but I'm still here, and I'm afraid to stop. You know, if I stop for 1 year just to prove that it does work, no, I'm not going to do that. So there we have it.
No, the Chinese cabbage will work, won't it?
Is it green?
It's
white,
like
yeah.
green.
Yellow green.
It has to be green.
No, Minerva, by the verse,
It's
it's
not
red
red.
cabbage. It shouldn't be red cabbage.
It's not red, it's
Yeah,
fine, it's
as long as
green
it's
as
not
cabbage.
red.
Oh, okay.
That's why we call it green cabbage.
Here, there's the seed.
Anyhow,
It's
that's,
not by the color.